Hard to describe, but he's a very good player, and part of the reason is because he's a strong player. He's a physical specimen that can move guys out the way and get to the rim and get to his spots, and knowing that you know where his spots are, you can't really stop it. That just shows you how much his strength comes into play.
Danny, tomorrow's the last basketball game in this building. Is that something you guys are aware of or talked about at any length, and what do you expect out of the atmosphere?
No, we haven't really looked at or thought about those things. We're thinking about it as one game at a time, game by game. And we have opportunity here to win. Regardless if it's here or in Toronto, it's a basketball game, and championship teams have to win on the road. And it seems as if both these teams have been playing better on the road. We have to continue to try to do that and hopefully, win the next game and not, allow it to go, or extend it.
Does that surprise you, Danny, given, how important home court advantage is in general in the NBA, especially in the finals, how much success the road team has had in this?
Yeah, a little bit. Just that usually teams play better at home, but in this series is very different. It's rare, and both teams have pretty much executed and done their job on the road. We want to continue that and play our best basketball, continue to play better basketball, regardless if it's at home or on the road. And we need to step up, all of us individually and as a group, play better.
Danny, you've hit some of the bigger shots of anybody in this league on the biggest kind of pressure stages.
Mm-hmm.
That's a hard thing to do. It's like back kind of the Masters Sunday stuff. What does it take to kind of hold yourself and to step into those moments with kind of clarity and focus and not be scared?
Just being comfortable with it and getting used to it. And I have to give a lot of credit and commend a lot of my coaches in the past, especially in San Antonio with Chad Forcier, Will Hardy, even before that, of trusting me with taking certain shots. Pop put me in positions to take big shots, and said when you take them, you get comfortable with them, you're used to them, and like a guy like Kawhi, he's used to the moment. When you're used to the moment, you kind of rise to the occasion, you get comfortable, you have fun with it. These are the moments and the times and the positions that you dream of being in when you're a child, a kid. You're playing in your driveway, wherever it is, counting down 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and taking those game-winning shots or game-winning free throws. And you want to be a professional and step up, but you only get used to it by being put in those situations. So, a lot of it has to do with my past teams and coaches of allowing me to step up to the occasion and be comfortable with it.
You guys were up 6 with 3 minutes to go. I don't need to remind you that you've been closer than that at certain other points of your career. Is there an importance of addressing that and then moving forward in the moment, or do you just try to focus on the actual basketball rather than how close you were?
Both. Obviously, it's an opportunity, a missed opportunity, but luckily we have a lot of basketball to play and other opportunities to get it back. But you address it and then you move forward. You don't want to dwell on it. You don't want to harp on it. You don't want to let it sleep in or any doubt or let it drain you. Because that can be an emotional blow if you would let it. But we don't want it to be an emotional blow to our team. We want to stay physically and mentally and emotionally confident and not doubt ourselves and understand that we know we can play better offensively and defensively, and we only lost by 1. So we continue to do what we've done in the past or previous games to that game. Figure it out and stay to their bodies and not let them get as many threes. They shot very well, and if we shoot better, we know we have a pretty good chance at winning a ball game.
I know the year after you guys lost that one in 7, Pop said he knew he had to address it head on, and there couldn't be dancing around it. Do you remember any specific conversations or any specific players who brought up, like, let's not dance around this, let's deal with it head on so we can move forward, which you guys obviously did?
Yeah. Back then it was very different. Usually he brings in the film the next year coming in, so we addressed it the next year coming in, and it was head on. I don't think at the moment he wanted to address it too much because we had another game to play after Game 6. But after Game 7, when it was over, next year, we definitely addressed it in film, harped on it, and knew what we prepared every day as if we were going to get back to that point.
Danny, I'm sure you've played through injuries in your career, and obviously we saw what happened with Kevin Durant. How difficult is it for you guys as players to balance protecting your long-term future and with getting out there and helping your teammates and just doing what you love, which is playing basketball?
It's very difficult, man. That's why we have our staff and our coaches, and those guys help protect us from ourselves a lot of times because we're so competitive and we want to play so badly, regardless of what the injury. We think we can fight through it, and he's a true warrior. I had nothing to gain from playing the other night. and everything to lose. So for him to go out there with, showed a lot of heart just for his brothers, his teammates, and wanting to win, knowing that he had an injury that could possibly, change his whole career. So it's a lot of times it's very hard to dictate and manage and mentally say, I probably need to sit down or I probably need to take myself out. But so that's why we have a lot of those people around us to help us protect us from ourselves.
Have you ever been in a situation, obviously you don't got to get too deep in it, where you trying to beg your coaching staff or training staff, hey, let me play tonight?
For sure. There's been plenty of times. Even in the past year, last year I probably should have sat out more than I did. But the reason why it got worse than what it was is because I continued to play on it and try to fight through it.
Two more questions.
You guys have had some big games in this playoff run. You've put together some really good defensive stretches, whether it be a possession or two or a stretch of like 3 or 4 possessions. Is there one that you can bring back you thought that was particularly good or particularly important along this run?
During this series or last game?
Any even during the Philly series or Milwaukee
There's
series?
a bunch of games that I could put together. We had some really good defensive stretches or defensive games. Very few games where we had lulls and the team scored over 115, 120. A lot of times to keep, especially these teams, keep them, in the low 100s or under 100 is tough to do. But each one of them is very important. Each game is important, and we're probably going to need even better or more next game if we want to, try to win this series.
What makes a good defensive possession for this team?
Last one.
Just, giving them the toughest shot they can take, contested, and finish it off with a rebound. Boxing guys out, finding them, making, a guy that you want shooting the ball. Not saying we want anybody shooting the ball openly, but, taking the ball out of the Stars' hands, or if they get a shot, make sure it's contested highly, and that we get a rebound and box so we can run. Thank you, guys.
Danny.